Hey demons, it's me, your girl. Welcome back to the Animated Apparel YouTube channel. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Josmarie. I actually have my own YouTube channel called It's an Anime Thing, as well as a podcast and blog under the same name. And basically what I do here on the Animated Apparel YouTube channel is that I am basically like the designated anime girl. I'm just kidding. But I do make a lot of anime content and anime related videos. So feel free to check out my other videos on the Animated Apparel YouTube channel, as well as my own YouTube channel, It's an Anime Thing. Now, before I actually get started, I'd like to remind y'all to be a good citizen and give this video a like, as well as a subscribe to the Animated Apparel channel, and feel free to click the little bell icon so that you'll be notified every time we post a video. So let's get into it. So the video that I'm bringing to y'all today is another Avatar related video, kind of like my top 10 most iconic moments one, except it's really about this one iconic moment in the Avatar series. And honestly, I have to tell y'all, it's one of my favorites because I feel like it really showed different perspectives on Aang's whole situation, and I just wanted to give my own interpretation of what was going on in this scene. Let me know in the comments down below, which is your favorite past Avatar? I know a lot of people are gonna say Kyoshi, but I want to see like what everybody, really thinks about these past Avatars. So everyone remembers that scene in ATLA, at least I hope so, where literally in the last episode, Aang kind of wanders off by himself because he's going through this whole dilemma of whether or not he should kill the Fire Lord, what he should really do in order to solve the world's problems right now. He's going through a lot of stress, and he has basically the weight of the whole world on his shoulders. And he basically wanders off by himself into the ocean. I think he's sleepwalking there or something. And he wanders onto the back of a lion turtle. This is where he basically goes through a moment of self-reflection and decides to ask the past avatars for advice on what he should do in this situation. Because mind you, he's a very peaceful boy. He does not know what to do when people are literally telling him, you have to kill the Fire Lord. Like, you have to kill the Fire Lord. Like, you're the Avatar. You're supposed to save us all. And, he obviously doesn't want to because it goes against his own beliefs. So, he decides to ask the past avatars for advice. And this is basically my interpretation of what they said to him and how it applies to him. So first we have Avatar Roku, and given the fact that he was the first Avatar that we were all introduced to, you would think that he had all the answers. At least I thought so. I mean, he was basically the original one that we were shown throughout the series, so I figured that he would be the only one that Aang would be consulting because he was the last Avatar. And instead, he decided to give in his own side of the story and basically kind of explained why this whole war had even started. So apparently, way back in the day, Avatar Roku and Sozin were best friends. Like actual buddy best friends. Like right before they found out that he was the Avatar. And that's kind of crazy now that I think about it, because imagine being the savior of the world, and then when you're old, your best friend turns to you and is like, I want to take over the world, bro. So they spent almost every day together. They spent so much time together. So it's really no surprise that Roku felt so hurt when Sozin betrayed him. It's really no surprise that Roku didn't act as soon as he should have to stop Sozin. That's his best friend. Like, what are you supposed to do? So, had Sozin, been a little more focused on the logical side of things and had been more decisive with his choice on whether or not he was going to stop Sozin, like fully stop Sozin, the whole war probably couldn't have been avoided. And in a way, the way that he explained it, it almost seemed like maybe the whole war was kind of his fault. Which is kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of messed up because it wasn't necessarily completely his fault, although it kind of was. He's supposed to be the Avatar, so when everybody needed him most, he vanished, and that kind of sucks. But I think that this story really shows the human error in being the Avatar. Because no matter what, at the end of the day, Roku, Aang, Kyoshi, all of these past Avatars, they were human. They are human. You know what I mean? humans make dumb decisions sometimes. We're not perfect, and neither is the Avatar. So, sometimes they might not make the right decisions. Sometimes they might not be able to save the day, And I think that's what really stuck out to me when I heard Roku's story. And this also really applies to Aang, because if it wasn't for his own guilt and his own feelings, had he not put that in the way, the whole war could have been just avoided completely. And I think that also ties into what Aang is going through, because he personally feels like he doesn't really, not that he doesn't really want to stop the Fire Lord, but he doesn't want to have to do it the way that everybody else is telling him to do it. Everybody's literally pressuring him to go over there and to actually try to kill the Fire Lord to be able to restore the balance to the rest of the world. And it's not like Aang doesn't want to restore the balance, but he doesn't want to kill anybody. So I think what Roku was really trying to say to Aang was that no matter what decision he makes, he has to be quick. This is literally a life or death situation. He has to make his decisions fast, okay? Fast and efficiently. And no matter what, he cannot put his own feelings in the way. He can't, because that's literally what happened with Roku. He decided to put his own feelings in the way. He decided to pity Sozin and decided not to really fully stop him, and that's why the war had started. That's why Sozin got away with what he did. So next we have the very iconic Avatar Kyoshi. She was the second avatar that Aang had consulted in for his problems, and a lot of people, really, really love to recall this scene because of the whole, Kyoshi said that murder's okay thing, which I get, because it really does crack me up, but I feel like a lot of people didn't really completely get what she was saying. They didn't understand the seriousness in her tone, and they just kind of made it more of a comedic moment and not they weren't really fully understanding what she was saying to Aang, basically. So she kind of started off her share of wisdom by automatically talking about her encounter with Chin the Conqueror, and she casually mentions how she killed him in order to restore the balance to the world. Now, Aang actually corrects her and says, "You didn't kill Chin, okay? Again, you did not kill Chin. He fell to his own death because he wouldn't get out of the way." And I think this is what really set things off for people, and what really made it into a meme, because she looked at him and said, "Personally, I don't see the difference." So I can get why people would think that she said that murder's okay, but I think what she meant was that she didn't see the difference, because whether she had killed him or whether Chin had fallen to his own death, it wouldn't have, it would have been the same thing. She would have done whatever she could have to restore the balance to the world, because that's her duty as the Avatar. She would have done whatever she could to make sure that Chin was stopped. So even if she didn't kill him, it wouldn't have made a difference, because she still did her job. I think that's what she meant. So maybe she wasn't necessarily saying that murder's okay. She was probably saying murder's justifiable in certain situations. So next, we have Avatar Kuruk. So this Avatar story was kind of a little different, which I actually liked. So Avatar Kuruk was actually someone who was around during an actual time of peace. He literally said people just seemed to solve their own problems. There were no real threats to the world. Everything was peaceful. He was kind of a go with the flow sort of guy. It seemed like he really just spent his time kind of not really doing any Avatar duties, that sort of thing. And because of that, he basically was caught off guard when Ko the Face Stealer, I think he invaded their village or something. Basically, Ko the Face Stealer killed his wife. And that whole thing happened because he, wasn't really doing his duty as the Avatar. Even though he was living in a time of peace, he wasn't really thinking about his future. He wasn't thinking about, what can I do to protect the world? What can I do to be a better Avatar? He was just kind of, again, going with the flow. Just wasn't really doing much as the Avatar. And because of that, he lost his wife. So I think what he was trying to say to Aang is that he had to be prepared. He said he had to actively shape his destiny and shape his future with the rest of the world in mind. So I think what he was saying, that part of being the Avatar is being prepared for anything. Because you could be living in a time of peace, but you never know what somebody could be doing behind the scenes. The same thing kind of happened in Korra, at least from what I remember. I'm still in the second season, so I'm not completely into the series. Season 2 is like super crabby, by the way, but I think that's kind of what happened with Korra. It seemed like everything was fine. It seemed like she was living in the time of peace. She was just learning how to be the Avatar, and then a whole bunch of problems got in the way because she wasn't fully prepared as the Avatar. I mean, hers is more understandable because she was still learning to be an airbender, but Kuruk was a full Avatar. At least I thought so. So yeah, he should have been a little more prepared, and I actually like his advice that he gave to Aang, because at first I didn't really think it was very important. I thought that they just put him in just to give the perspective of the four nations on this whole dilemma, but I actually kind of like Avatar Kuruk's advice. It's different, you know what I mean? You have to be prepared as the Avatar because anything can happen. And then last but not least, we have my girl, Avatar Yangchen. Oh my god. Y'all always talk about Kyoshi. Everyone's always talking about Kyoshi and her, little piece of wisdom and how funny it was. But nobody ever talks about Avatar Yangchen. Never. And in my opinion, her advice was just as iconic as Kyoshi's and very memorable and actually funny. It's just that not everybody was probably paying attention. So I can kind of understand why Aang would want to, consult an Avatar Yangchen lastly, because he had already consulted someone from the Fire Nation, someone from the Earth Kingdom, and someone from the Water Tribe. So they didn't really fully understand why he didn't want to kill the Fire Lord because of the fact that it was going against his beliefs. But I can see why he wanted to consult an Avatar Yangchen, because Avatar Yangchen is a fellow air nomad. So I'm assuming that he figured Avatar Yangchen would be able to sympathize with him once he, basically voiced all of his concerns. I'm pretty sure he would have expected her to, not necessarily coddle him, but, just, say, it's okay, young airbender. It's all right. You're a gentle soul. You're not supposed to do that. It's okay. You don't have to kill the Fire Lord. But instead, she looked at him in the eyes and she was like, Aang, none of this is about you. Nobody cares about your guilty conscience. I'm kind of paraphrasing it a little bit, but it was so funny. She was just like, none of this is about you, okay? You are an air nomad, and the monks taught you well, but this is not about what the air nomads want. This is not about peace. And I actually really like that because it, again, it shows the perspective of an air nomad avatar. An air nomad, somebody who actually shares the same exact beliefs and teachings as Aang. So I like the fact that they put that in there because it was kind of surprising to see her look at him in the face and say your beliefs don't really apply in this situation, Aang. You kind of do have to kill him, bro. It was just so funny, and I needed to remind y'all that Avatar Yangchen should have as much fame as Avatar Kyoshi. That's all I'm saying. Again, it's not like Aang wouldn't have been able to commit to his Avatar responsibilities, but did he really have the guts to kill the Fire Lord? Okay, keep in mind that he's mentally 12 years old. That is younger than any Avatar. Usually Avatars find out that they are the Avatar by 16. He was 12. He barely hit puberty. That's a lot to go through as a little kid. I remember when I was 12, I wasn't doing anything. I can't imagine having to kill the Fire Lord at 12. What? Bro, no. So, despite everyone, it seemed like everyone was telling him, you do have to kill the Fire Lord, and you can't really avoid this by putting in your own spiritual beliefs. He still found a way to be able to stop the Fire Lord without really killing him. Isn't that, to me, that's pretty awesome. He's, as a kid, he's very resourceful, He obviously took his duty very seriously, but he still wanted to make sure that it wasn't something that would go against his conscience. And I really love that. That's why I included the lion turtle moment in my top 10 most iconic moments of Avatar The Last Airbender. Because it was just, Aang's a pretty smart kid. I really didn't expect that at first. But overall, I really love the fact that they decided to show the different perspectives of Aang's situation through, because in a way they kind of showed you the perspective of the four nations on this problem. And I personally really like that, especially Avatar Yangchen. That was just perfect. It was perfect. And that was why I decided to not only not include this in my top 10 most iconic moments video, because this scene really just deserved its own video, and I also wanted to give my own interpretation on what this all meant for Aang. So I hope you guys like it. In fact, why don't you tell me what's your interpretation of the past Avatar's advice to Aang? Because I know that everybody kind of sees it a little differently. They have their own perspectives on what everything means. So I would really love to hear your, and so, you know, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. And again, feel free to give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. And I'll see you guys next time on Animated Apparel. Peace. You guys next time on Animated Apparel. Peace.